Welcome everyone, I'm Spiro with breaking news. The G20 just officially announced they are launching a plan for a global framework for digital currencies and digital IDs. Watch.
Laying the building blocks for a globally coordinated and comprehensive policy and regulatory framework for crypto assets. The global push for clearer policies on crypto assets has gained momentum under the Indian presidency, and a global consensus is emerging on the same. The presidency will support the IMF and the FSB, and FSB is also setting the contours of the regulatory framework for a globally coordinated approach to crypto assets. So the presidency, with the support of IMF and the FSB, is setting these contours. The IMF and FSB synthesis paper, about which I've spoken to the media earlier, including a roadmap. On that, I just want to give my observation. This synthesis paper delves into how the policy and regulatory frameworks developed by the IMF and the FSB, alongside the other standard-setting bodies, will fit together and interact with each other. This paper is now available in the public domain for all of you all to see.
Now, crypto was initially portrayed as a way to decouple from the central banks and to provide a layer of anonymity, just like using cash, right? But that's not what this is at all. In fact, it's quite the opposite. This is about the rollout of central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. Now, the central banks have been working on this for quite a long time, and they have been partnering with governments and private corporations to usher this in. It kind of sounds like fascism, right? But what does it mean? Well, we've already witnessed how the central banks have been using a debt-based system to essentially enslave entire nations, and soon they'll have the ability to monitor, regulate, and tax you into submission in every way imaginable. And before you know it, you'll be eating bugs and driving electric cars. Or at least that's their plan if they get their way. Another example, didn't get your latest booster shot? Sorry, your account's been restricted until you comply. And at this point, we can start to see how the climate lockdowns don't seem too far-fetched after all, because we are witnessing the foundation of the social credit system being rolled out right now before our eyes. And if this sounds extreme, it's because it is. Just like the lockdowns and mandates that we just went through were extreme. And this agenda will maximize compliance on the next go-around. Now, what the social engineers are rolling out is called a digital panopticon, or a digital prison. This is where the digital IDs come into play.
The third one, which I'd like to draw your attention to, is the financial inclusion and productivity gains through digital public infrastructure. India, as you all are aware, through the India Stack, became the first country to develop all three foundational DPIs: the digital identity, the real-time fast payment, and a platform to safely share personal data without compromising privacy. So embedded this concept in the G20 financial inclusion agenda by formulating G20 policy recommendations for advancing financial inclusion and productivity gains through digital public infrastructure.
The fact they're announcing it now means they're about ready to roll it out. And once we go down this road, I'm not sure we can come back. The G20 announcement also coincides with what I believe Elon Musk has planned for X, as they have recently announced they've obtained approval for payments, including cryptocurrencies, and will begin to collect users' biometric data and other personal information this month. Kind of sounds like compliance with the global digital ID agenda that was just announced at the G20, but that's just my opinion, right? Maybe, maybe not. I hate to say it, folks, but it looks like the conspiracy theorists were right again. We warned that the measures used during COVID-19 '84 would be used to erect a new and improved, all-encompassing digital surveillance and police state, the likes of which humanity has never seen. And here it is. It's disguised as a solution, as progress, as inclusion, so no one's left behind. Because at the end of the day, we will all be slaves under this new system of control.
I'm going to tell you something that's really going to scare you, and it should. The biggest part of the Great Reset that you're all missing is the carbon credit scam. And what is the carbon credit scam? This is where they're telling you where they want to monitor, track, and trace every so-called kilogram of CO2 that you emit. And they say the global average needs to be 2 tons per person per year. And you're using 16 tons per person per year, which means your activity has to go down by 800%. So how do they plan to do that? Well, first of all, they got the new first MasterCard in the world that is going to show a carbon allowance for every single purchase you buy. And to make sure that everything has a so-called carbon credit, food, when you buy food now, if it's vegan, it's going to show you this nice low score of only 1 kilogram, 1.3 kilograms of CO2 per serving. Now, meat will be off the chart, so that's going to be a no-no. Check this out. If you go to a restaurant, even an Italian pizza place, they're going to show you the amount of CO2 for your dish. So literally everything you eat, everything you buy, is your clothes made of leather? That's going to cost more CO2 because it came from a cow. So every single thing you do is going to be tracked. Why? Because they want to put limits on how much you can spend monthly. They're telling you you're using 16 tons a year and they want you to use 2 tons a year. What does 2 tons look like? Well, check this out. Say you wanted to fly from Toronto to Amsterdam, and now Google, by the way, Google Flights shows the carbon emissions on that flight. That flight from Toronto to Amsterdam is 478 kilograms of CO2. That's almost 25% of your yearly allowance. But don't worry, if you go over your limit, they're going to charge you $170 for every kilogram. For every kilogram of carbon credits you need. This is how they're going to control where you go, how you're going to get there, what you can buy, what you can eat, who you can see. And now imagine that in a world without cash. And imagine that in a world where the government gets to control every single transaction. And this is why they're constructing 15-minute cities, aka prison camps, because when they put these carbon credit allowances into these cities, they're going to have you on perpetual lockdown like they did with COVID without having a virus.
A one-world currency and ID for the entire internet. This is what OpenAI just launched, and it's been flying somewhat under the radar, despite 2 huge technological innovations and 3 offerings which are posing some extremely unsettling implications for anyone who uses the internet. And this is exactly what we're about to delve into in this video, plus more. But first, enter WorldCoin, World ID, and the World app. Part 1. The One World ID. In an era of burgeoning artificial intelligence technology, verifying the identity of real human users in a sea of chatbots is becoming increasingly crucial. And that's exactly what OpenAI CEO Sam Altman's new venture introduces with its first offering, the World ID, a unique identifier secured through cryptography and state-of-the-art iris scan technology. Developed under the San Francisco and Berlin-based initiative called Tools for Humanity, one seeks to differentiate actual human users from AI-powered chatbots in digital interactions. These world IDs can then be stored on blockchain networks with the goal of enhanced user privacy. Furthermore, Altman envisions WorldCoin as a potential game-changer for the world economy as a whole, suggesting it as a possible means for implementing a universal basic income and reducing fraudulent activities related to its distribution. Foremost, the WorldCoin project is said to specialize in human identification using biometric scans of its users' eyes, but also simultaneously establishes a global cryptocurrency and payment network. With the rise of AI having made digitally generated data insufficient for attesting one's human status, the company believes that technology will enable a means for verification of humanness once and for all. But what's really going on with your data? Part 2, Behind the Scenes. In actuality, WorldCoin's special camera, known as the Orb, scans pairs of eyes in a process performed by orb operators who receive cryptocurrency or other rewards in exchange for their services. After the scans, the data is then immediately converted into a unique identifier and subsequently deleted according to the company. With its launch, WorldCoin extends these orbing operations to 35 cities across 20 countries, boasting a user base of millions from its beta phase. Additionally, WorldCoin is scheduled for launch in the first half of 2023, and the software developer kit has already been available since mid-March, providing the tech to differentiate AI from humans. And while some people are voicing their concerns, the company claims this World ID system is simply an open and permissionless identity protocol, enabling individuals to provide proof of their own information. Plus, more than 2 million people have participated, with these orb scans being predominantly available in Argentina, India, Kenya, and Spain for participants to receive coins for their eye scans, and the project is slated for an even wider rollout later towards the end of 2023, entering what's called the next phase. And with the development of OpenAI's GPT language models, Altman is paving the way for enhanced text production. But the distinction between human-generated content and machine-generated content is gradually becoming a significant factor in both business and personal contexts. For instance, publishers might want to highlight articles penned by human journalists, and individuals may prefer knowing if their communication partner is a human or an AI. Cleverly, Altman already foresaw the identity problem that GPT-4 would cause all the way back in 2019, leading to the conception of WorldCoin. Now the startup operates under its new umbrella organization, Tools for Humanity, which identifies itself as a product-oriented research lab, and Altman is a board member of WorldCoin. Altogether, the recent launch of the World Proof of Personhood Software Developer Kit is intended to prove that WorldCoin is on a mission to distinguish humans from AI, with the company stating that only iris scans can provide the required accuracy while ensuring privacy, scalability, and detection options. With this, the World ID system can now be integrated into all types of applications as a privacy-first decentralized identity protocol that supports various verification methods to sign into websites, mobile apps, crypto dApps, verify phone numbers, and more. Part 3. WorldCoin's 2 innovations. Impressively, WorldCoin is pioneering 2 innovative strategies to affirm the authenticity of individual users by firstly implementing strict account limitations, with WorldCoin's recognition system preventing individuals from exploiting online platforms by using false identities to steal and defraud. This also limits the number of accounts that one person can create, ensuring that digital resources are distributed fairly and accurately. The second innovation is WorldCoin's mitigation of AI-generated disinformation, which is an ever-growing challenge for website and platform developers. By implementing its eye-scanning recognition system, WorldCoin claims it will substantially reduce the proliferation of false information generated by AI, fortifying the integrity of digital communications across the internet. Part 4. The World App. This application leverages the WorldCoin and Ethereum protocols together to authenticate everyone's proof of personhood with World ID. Plus, people can send money to anyone for free, claim WorldCoin grants in countries where it's available, explore crypto tokens, and more. What's more, the company says that the World ID system can give developers the most robust solution for verifying their users' authenticity, while safeguarding their own platforms against bots. Through the simplicity of sign-in with WorldCoin, developers have the ability to capture only the essential information from users necessary for service access. Notably, when users sign in using WorldCoin, their World ID, their app accounts, verifications, and wallets still remain unlinked. This ensures that users can roam across websites without worrying about being tracked, as not even WorldCoin contributors or app developers can identify the World ID linked to an account or uncover any additional personal information about the user. Moreover, the global adoption of proof of personhood can serve as a catalyst for an innovative range of products and services. Social networks can leverage it for bot protection, community moderation, and content attribution. Plus, DAO governance, elections, and online polls can be enhanced with the use of proof of personhood in their voting systems. Furthermore, financial services can harness it for under-collateralized lending, fraud prevention, and compliance adherence. From a consumer perspective, proof of personhood can significantly boost customer incentive programs like loyalty programs, coupons, referrals, and free trials. Marketplaces can utilize proof of personhood for reputation management, preventing fake reviews, transactions, and scalper activities. Finally, the fair distribution of money can be facilitated through proof of personhood in a variety of contexts, such as social programs, development assistance, disaster relief, non-profit aid, scholarships, crypto airdrops, and even universal basic income initiatives. Overall, the benefits of World ID promise a transformative impact across a broad spectrum of digital platforms and services. Part 5. The Future. Broadly speaking, the global adoption of proof of personhood is intended to underpin the next generation of products and services aimed at making the digital world more secure. Next, the company says they'll be expanding the deployment of their German-manufactured orbs to a greater number of WorldCoin operators in cities across the world, and they also plan on open sourcing more of the old hardware to make it more accessible and understandable for everyone. All in all, only time will tell, but if you want to see some of OpenAI's other work that will likely integrate WorldCoin, make sure to check out one of these videos.
No need for a boarding pass, no need for a passport. It's basically your face is the passport. So after you drop your bags, you go through immigration, so you go through this tunnel, and then if it's green, that means you're registered and you're identified and you're all good to go. However, if it's red, you will be stopped and we'll have to figure out why it popped up as red. Basically, it will eliminate the waiting area, and the boarding desks, so no need for that. It's just the tunnel that you go through.
A revolution is unfolding before our very eyes, a revolution that most people are unaware of. This revolution is leading us to the introduction of the mark of the beast, as prophesied in the book of Revelation. What I'm talking about is the Internet of Things, commonly known as IoT. The Internet of Things, IoT, refers to a vast network of physical devices connected to the Internet, enabling them to collect and share data. IoT is not just a futuristic concept, it is a rapidly growing reality that is infiltrating every aspect of our lives. Examples include smart home devices that control lights, air conditioning, thermostats, and security systems, wearable fitness trackers that monitor health and activity levels, and connected cars that offer real-time traffic updates and autonomous driving capabilities. These devices aim to make our lives more convenient and efficient, but they also serve another purpose, collecting vast amounts of data about us. Smart devices, smart cars, and smart cities are redefining our lives through the Internet of Things. We have entered an era where these devices are not only listening to what we say, but are also monitoring our actions, internet searches, and locations. Imagine a smart home system that knows what room you're in at any given moment, or how long you spend in each room on average every day. This level of surveillance is unprecedented, and it is only the beginning. Most people have heard of the Internet of Things, but very few are aware of an even more intimate extension of this technology, the Internet of Bodies, or IOB. The Internet of Bodies involves devices that are integrated with or can be worn on the human body to collect health and biometric data. While IOB is a newer and more emerging field compared to IoT, it is gaining traction rapidly. And I tell you, by 2025, we should be prepared to see an exponential increase in the integration of these technologies into people's bodies. Imagine implantable devices that monitor your health from within your body or brain-computer interfaces that allow direct communication between your brain and external devices. This is not science fiction. This is the reality we are moving towards. Look at the advancements made by Neuralink, a company working on brain-computer interfaces. Just this year, Neuralink has achieved significant breakthroughs. Specifically, this year, Neuralink received approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, to conduct its first human trials.
In January, Elon Musk announced that for the first time, his company Neuralink implanted a brain chip in a human as part of a preliminary clinical trial.
Nolan Arbaugh, the first Neuralink human trial subject, has successfully controlled a computer mouse using only his brain implant. This remarkable achievement highlights the device's ability to interpret and transmit neural signals with high precision, allowing Arbaugh to perform tasks on a computer directly through thought.
This is fascinating. Neuralink aims to help people living with debilitating conditions communicate and control external devices with their thought.
But it doesn't stop there. There are influential figures and organizations, such as those involved with the World Economic Forum, who are aiming to integrate brain-computer interfaces with artificial intelligence. They envision a future where these systems are so advanced that they can monitor not just our actions, but our very thoughts. Yes, you heard that right. Monitoring your thoughts. Your private thoughts will no longer be private. The technology is not fully there yet, but it is well on its way. Some of you might think this sounds far-fetched, that technology capable of reading your mind will never exist. But my friends, the early stages of this technology are already here. Neuralink's advancements are just the beginning. Do not underestimate the power of human innovation. Think about the technology you take for granted today. Just 300 years ago, the devices we use every day would have been considered witchcraft. Our world has changed so drastically and so quickly, and there is no reason to doubt that we will reach a point where even our thoughts can be monitored. In 2025, we will witness a drastic increase in the integration of the Internet of Bodies. We will see more implantable chips and other technologies being introduced into human beings. These advancements will be hailed as miracles of modern medicine and convenience, but we must be vigilant. We must be aware of the implications of such technology. Revelation chapter 13, verses 16 to 17 warns us about the mark of the beast. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. The mark of the beast is a symbol of allegiance to the Antichrist and a rejection of God. As technology advances, we must be wary of any system that seeks to control and monitor us to this extent, for this could be the very system the Antichrist uses to enforce his mark. The Internet of Bodies, with its implantable devices and brain-computer interfaces, could be a stepping stone towards such a system. Imagine a future where you cannot buy or sell unless you have an implant that monitors your every move and thought. This is not a far-off dystopian fantasy. This is a potential reality that we must be prepared for. Now let me stress a crucial point. Satan is far more intelligent than you or I. He has existed for far longer and has been deceiving mankind for centuries. We must remember that he is tirelessly preparing the world for the arrival of the Antichrist. I have no doubt that the Antichrist system is already here on Earth. We are witnessing too many signs and too many end-time events falling into place. You might wonder, who would willingly sign up for their thoughts to be monitored? But do you think they will present it to us that way? Of course not. Instead, they will disguise it with enticing promises, such as a groundbreaking technology that can monitor your body and predict a heart attack 1 hour in advance. This implantable device would notify both you and medical professionals before the heart attack occurs. Who wouldn't find that appealing? Remember who the God of this world is. Remember who the father of lies is. A revolution is unfolding before our very eyes. A revolution that most people are unaware of. This revolution is leading us to the introduction of the mark of the beast, as prophesied in the book of Revelation.
Beast. Revelation chapter 13, verses 15 through 18. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand, or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. In the 18th verse of the 13th chapter of the book of Revelation, the Bible clearly states that 666 is the number of a man. The Word of God wants you to know that the Antichrist is a man and not an angel. He is a man and not a system. He is a man and not a government. He is a man and not an institution. He is a man and not an organization. He is a man and not an establishment. He is a man and not a secret society. He is a man and not a spirit being. He is a man and not a force. He is a man and not an idea. He is a man and not a theology. He is a man and not a movement or force. No, the Word of God wants to make it clear that you know, when we talk about the Antichrist, we are talking about a man. And what a man he will be. The Bible describes this man as the beast of the sea. This symbolic description of the Antichrist as the beast of the sea reveals a tremendous amount about his nature, his origin, and his character. It is interesting to see that although the Antichrist is a man, God does not view him as a man made in the divine image of God, but rather, God views him as a beast, as a wild animal, under the control of the dragon, Satan. We see in the second verse of the 13th chapter of the book of Revelation who gave the Antichrist his power. Revelation chapter 13 verse 2, "And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority." It is Satan who gave him his power and great authority. Many people grossly underestimate the power and authority Satan has. First, let's establish something important. The Bible often refers to Satan as the god of this age. We see this in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 4, or in the prince of the power of the air. We see this in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 2. These designations give insight to Satan's temporary authority and influence in the earthly realm. John's epistle even asserts, 1 John chapter 5, verse 19, "We know that we are of God, and the whole world lies under the sway of the wicked one." These passages together suggest that Satan does have some measure of authority over the kingdoms of this world, at least for a season. Now, when Jesus was offered these kingdoms, it wasn't because Satan had ultimate ownership over them. Rather, it's because in the fallen state of the world, Satan has been allowed a temporary rulership. But Jesus, recognizing the deceptive nature of the offer and the requirement to worship Satan, declined, quoting scripture in response, "Away from me, Satan, for it is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only." As previously stated, scripture states that the dragon, another name for Satan, will give his power, throne, and great authority to the Antichrist in Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. The Antichrist will be energized by the very power of hell. God does not view the Antichrist, who is the beast from the sea, and the false prophet, the beast from the earth, as men made in the divine image of God. Instead, God views them as beasts, as wild animals, under the control of the dragon, Satan. This is so important, and it sheds light on the fact that all other human beings who have lived and do not accept Christ will be judged at the great white throne judgment. Revelation chapter 20, verses 11 through 15. However, only two unredeemed human beings miss out on this great white throne judgment, the Antichrist and the false prophet. They are not even judged. They are directly cast into the lake of fire. This should show you that these two people are not normal individuals. These two people will be fueled by a level of evil unlike the world has ever seen before. Revelation chapter 20, verse 10, "And the devil that deceived them was cast into the lake of fire and brimstone, where the beast and the false prophet are, and shall be tormented day and night forever and ever." The Antichrist will be evil like no other. Just as Jesus Christ is God in the flesh, so the beast will be Satan in a human body, and he has the number 666. Anytime you see the number 666, you need to be aware and cautious, for that is not a number you want to be associated with. Many rock bands and media outlets play with the number 666, but that number is something you should not want anything to do with. I remember a few decades ago, I bought a phone and 3 of the numbers in that mobile number were 666. I said, "No thank you, sir," and called the provider to get that number changed. Imagine being a pastor, handing out your number to people, and then saying 666. That is not a good luck. Never have anything to do with that number, for it is the number of a man. It is the number of a beast.
These seemingly benign innovations can be Trojan horses. A Trojan horse, in its original context, refers to a tale from Greek mythology. The Greeks used a wooden horse to gain access to the city of Troy during the Trojan War. They hid soldiers inside the hollow horse and left it as a deceptive gift at the gates of Troy. The Trojans, believing it was a symbol of their victory, brought it into their fortified city. Once inside, the Greek soldiers emerged from the horse at night, opened the gates for the rest of their army, and successfully conquered Troy. This story has become synonymous with any deceptive trick that allows an enemy to infiltrate a secure or protected place. In the modern technological context, a Trojan horse refers to any technology or device that appears harmless and beneficial on the surface, but has hidden capabilities designed to cause harm or gain unauthorized access. For example, in cybersecurity, a Trojan horse is a type of malicious software that misleads users of its true intent. It might appear as a legitimate application or file, but once installed, it can provide unauthorized access to the user's system, steal data, or cause other types of damage. When we say that seemingly benign innovations can be Trojan horses, we are highlighting the potential for these technologies to be used for purposes other than their stated, beneficial ones. They can open the door to a level of control and surveillance that we have never seen before. On the surface, these innovations might seem to offer convenience, efficiency, and improved quality of life. However, they can also collect vast amounts of personal data, monitor our activities, and even influence our behavior without our conscious awareness. And once that door is open, it will be nearly impossible to close. We must recognize the signs and understand the times we are living in. Look at the speed technology is advancing, faster than at any other point in history. In the 1900s, something pivotal happened. A seismic shift occurred that changed the world forever. Before this period, technological progress was steady, but relatively slow, resembling a gentle upward slope. However, what we are witnessing today is an exponential surge in technological development that is reshaping every aspect of our lives. Consider the period before the 20th century. For thousands of years, human civilization saw gradual improvements in tools, transportation, and communication. The wheel, the printing press, and the steam engine were significant advancements, but they came at a slow and predictable pace. Then, the Industrial Revolution accelerated progress, but even this pales in comparison to the technological explosion of the 20th and 21st centuries. We are living in a generation where we are witnessing what the last days will look like, a time when knowledge shall increase dramatically. The Bible speaks of a time when many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Daniel chapter 12, verse 4. This prophecy is manifesting before our very eyes. The internet, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and quantum computing are just a few examples of the fields where knowledge is expanding at an unprecedented rate. As we approach 2025, let us keep our eyes open and our hearts guarded. Let us be discerning about the technology we adopt and the systems we integrate into our lives. The convenience and benefits offered by these advancements can blind us to the potential dangers they pose. We must remain steadfast in our faith and vigilant against any attempt to control us in ways that compromise our allegiance to God. The Bible tells us in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verses 2 to 4, "For you yourselves are fully aware that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. While people are saying there is peace and security, then sudden destruction will come upon them as labor pains come upon a pregnant woman, and they will not escape. But you are not in darkness, brothers, for that day to surprise you like a thief." We must be aware of the signs of the times and remain vigilant. Brothers and sisters, the revolution is happening now. The Internet of Things and the Internet of Bodies are transforming our world in ways that could lead to the fulfillment of biblical prophecy. We must be prepared for what is coming in 2025 and beyond. We must be discerning about the technology we embrace and remain vigilant.
May Roman, uitați Uitați-vă aici, în Spania, sunt la centrul Farga. Uitați-vă, aici se înregistrează oamenii pentru a primi venitul minim garantat. Este o chestie pe care o să vă explic puțin mai încolo, cum și ce să face și de ce să face. M-ați înțeles? Este legat de venitul minim garantat. Uitați globurile acelea, le vedeți? Argintii, oamenii se uită la ele și le ia irisul și fața. M-ați înțeles? Și le dă, din câte am înțeles, cam 100 de euro la 3-4 zile. Este verificat de mine că un prieten al meu și-a făcut-o și și-a primit banii. M-a rugat să-l ajut la asta. Și uitați și voi cum vine lumea. Ați observat? Observați cum vine lumea? Și au clienți în continuu. Asta este pentru cei care cred că chestia cu venitul minim garantat este vrăjeală.